wanted to tell everyone here today how much I appreciate you being here. I know it's a busy time, but these are fun things. These are happy things when you get to recognize folks that have provided or given their time, effort, land, whatever that may be, to the Nettleton School District. These are great times, and we wanted to take a few minutes today to honor such a person. I'll say a lot more about the reason we're here later when we go out to the flagpole. That's where we're going to end up in a few minutes. But I wanted to recognize some of the folks that are here today that have come to share this time with us. And then I've asked Travis and a couple of other folks from the family to come up and say a couple of words about their grandfather. And then we'll move on. We'll move forward with our recognition. But first of all, I wanted you to welcome Senator John Cooper. John, here with us today. Representative Jack Ladyman. Jack, here. Representative Dan Sullivan. If he's not here at this moment, he will be. He's over on another campus right now, visiting with some students. But Dan will be here in a few minutes. Also, Representative Brant Smith will be here a little later. He's running a little tardy. And then our mayor, Harold Perrin. Harold is here with us today. Harold. And then we have 4 of our 5 Nettleton School Board members with us here today. I'll start over here to I see Mark Belk standing over here. Mark. Lynn Hogan right here. Ted Rook. And Donnie Howgie standing right here. All 4 of our 5 board members. So they've all taken time today to be here with you. I know there are other groups of students here. I know the Kiech family has many representatives here today. And I'm going to ask Travis if you'll come up just a second and say a couple of words about the family members that are here. Maybe introduce some of your family members, and I know you'll have somebody else come up in a moment. But Travis also, we asked him if he could come up, since we're honoring his grandfather, maybe he could think of a little story he could share with us this morning before we go outside. And he had no trouble quickly coming up with a good story. So Travis Kiech, say a few words, introduce, and share a little bit about your granddad.
Now my family is a lot. Some of them I haven't seen in a while, and then we have my cousin Blaine and his family. He's got Colby, Rihanna, and Haley, and his wife Emily, and then Jeff, his wife Alicia, and his son Sebastian and Ethan. And I think Jeff and they've just moved back here recently. I mean, in the last year or two. They've I'm not sure, they've been in Florida and somewhere other places, I think. And Blaine is now living, I think, in Pocahontas. So my kids, one's in college and one goes to Bay, which plays basketball all year long. I don't know if that's legal or not, but they do it. But yeah, I mean, we're the young ones. The family, my Kiech family is known for its heart problems, and a lot of them have had heart attacks and passed away. And Blaine's father, Harlow, has passed away of heart attack. My dad has a bad heart, and I've had a heart attack with a stick put in. Even though I run and work out all the time, but that doesn't seem to matter when it's genetics. So, I've made a push for this kind of thing to happen. With my dad was also with this, and get some recognition for my great-grandfather. Seeing that the family seemed to be dying off, it seemed like, so I wanted to get something taken care of for that. Get some recognition for him. I know from stories over the years, mainly from my dad and Blaine's dad, Harlow, that he loved Nettleton School. It was his family. He would come and eat lunch almost every day at the cafeteria, walk down here and eat here. Nobody would talk bad about Nettleton School ever. He would put up his fist for the school. But I know that the story that I remember hearing when I was a kid over and over again, because I'd always, when I went to school here, and I'd say, that food at the cafeteria is horrible, horrible. And they said, well, we said that too. We used to go and say, Grandpa Harley, that food is horrible. He said, no, it's not. It's not that. Not at my school. He goes, let me go down and check that out. So they said he'd walk down to the school, and they said the cafeteria would see him coming. They'd immediately start cooking a steak or something for him. So they would always tell that story, and he said, yeah. And he said, well, my food was pretty good. I had a ribeye today. And he said, my dad and Harlow would say, yeah, we don't get that kind of food. He said, well, I might need to see about cutting back on some of the funding for the cafeteria, because they don't need to serve y'all steak every day. I said, we don't get steak. But that was one of the main stories I remember hearing from my dad and my uncle. I mean, because he died, my great-grandfather died approximately a year before I was born. I just know stories of them helping the community as well around Nettleton. I know that my great-grandmother, Molly, would, at Christmas, she would make sure every kid in this area had a toy. So they were very giving, both of them, and love this school very much. And that's about all I can tell y'all.
Everybody know that we toured Dan Sutherland away. We've been over reading to second graders over at University Heights, and we told the second graders they had to give him up so he could come over here and finish his day here. We're happy to have Dan Sullivan, Representative Dan Sullivan here. So
You bet.
I told you he would be here. Here he is. The plaque reads, "In memory of Harley Clifton Kiech, October the 7th, 1895 to September the 15th, 1969. A distinguished member of the Nettleton community and a faithful supporter of Nettleton Public Schools, Mr. Kiech's generous land donation allowed for the development and construction of this NPS campus. As the longest serving school board member in history for 45 years, and as a devoted patron and benefactor, his loyalty and service to the district was and continues to be a gift for which we will always be grateful." At the bottom, we've got our slogan, "Raider Pride Forever." And I know those of you that remember Mr. Kiech know nobody had more Raider pride than he did. So we want to thank the family that's here to receive this in his honor. This is his spot. Come and visit it as much as you want. And so we're proud to dedicate it to you today. Now, before we finish, we had one more little extra thing, something I'm going to present to Travis, but I told him if someone here deserved it more, or if he wanted to give it to his dad, he could. But there used to be an elementary school sitting behind you where the new junior high sits, and it was destroyed in a tornado. We saved the plaque off of that school that was built in 1968, and you'll notice who was the president of the school board at that time. Anybody read that name? Okay. Mr. Kiech was the president of the board at that time. So we want to proudly present this plaque that was on the building that he helped build in 1968 to Travis Kiech. And Travis, I entrusted you to make sure it ends up where it needs to be, okay? That concludes the ceremony. Feel free to stay as long.